When Kevin and Lily arrived at her building's parking garage, they decided to go to the mall first and buy a gift for Dorothy. On the way to the mall entrance, a young woman bumped into Lily because she was looking behind her fearfully while she was walking. Kevin asked her if something was wrong. Kevin didn't always meddle in other people's business, but after all, the Salix Leaf Hotel's vast complex was partly his responsibility. He'd personally put Rachel in charge of it, and if something bad happened here, it was very likely that it would fall back on him sooner or later. That's why Kevin decided to ask the woman if she needed any help. No, the woman replied hesitantly, but Kevin could see in her eyes that something wasn't right. Really? Kevin asked with a slight frown. The more he looked at the young woman, the more he felt that she needed help. Since she said it was nothing, Kevin, don't force her. Lily couldn't help but try to persuade him. She felt that Kevin had a lot of good qualities, but she didn't understand why he was putting his nose in someone else's business. Just as the woman was about to answer Kevin, a man and a woman suddenly ran over to them in a hurry. They both seemed to be about the same age as she was. "What are you running for, Melody? Couldn't you tell I was just joking? Did you have to run so far?" the man asked her while trying to catch his breath. He was dressed in very expensive clothing, but nothing seemed to match. He looked like it all thrown up on him. The woman who was with him said, "Mr. Collins chose you from all the others he could have had. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth." I didn't," Melody replied feebly. "Didn't you come here today to take a look at the layout of one of the condos?" the man continued. "As I explained to you, my sister is the general manager of this complex." "You're Rachel's brother?" Kevin asked in disbelief. Lily got a strange look on her face. She and Kevin never knew that Rachel had a brother who was a bully. "Who do you think you are to bring my sister's name into this?" the man sneered as he looked Kevin up and down. Just then, the man's companion suddenly exclaimed, "I think I understand. Melody, are you afraid of becoming Riley's mistress?" Melody looked at Kevin and said desperately, No. Cindy, that's nonsense. I just accidentally bumped into this lady." "Oh, so you bumped into her? Do you expect anyone to believe what you just said?" Cindy spat back. "You really are useless, aren't you? Have you been living in the country for so long that you don't know how things work in the big city? Just look at this man," Cindy continued as she gestured to Kevin. "How can you compare this guy to Riley? But I guess it makes sense. Only someone from the middle of nowhere would be interested in some poor slob like this." Then she took the man by the arm and sneered, "Riley, I feel sorry for you. Look at what kind of you're interested in. The first chance she got, she ran to this jerk. Now she's acting all innocent." "Are you done talking?" Kevin growled. He couldn't take it anymore, and he got more upset because he saw that Melody was about to cry. Lily didn't look so good either. She really couldn't understand why these people were being so mean to each other. "Shut up," the man scolded him. "How can you come in here dressed like that and then talk back to me?" Then he sneered, "Just look at you. I'll bet you couldn't even afford to buy a toilet in this place." He spat on the ground and threatened, "You shouldn't even be in here. I'm calling security to have you thrown out so I don't have to look at you anymore." "I can't believe how arrogant you are. Aren't you afraid of karma?" Kevin asked coldly. The guy had no idea who he was dealing with. "Why don't you mind your own business? If you know what's good for you, you'll get out of here right now. Otherwise, you may find yourself with a couple of broken legs," the man threatened. "I'm not really afraid of your empty threats. Why don't you go ahead and break my legs?" Kevin answered back. He didn't want to waste any more time with this guy. Then he turned around and said to Lily, "Call Rachel right away. Tell her that I need her to drop whatever she's doing and come down here." Lily didn't waste a second. She couldn't bear to watch this man bullying everyone. She was also glad to see that Kevin had asked her to do something for him, which meant he probably wasn't angry with her anymore. Lily quickly took out her phone and called Rachel. She gave her Kevin's message word for word. "You're just yanking my chain. How could you possibly know my sister?" the man said disdainfully. Melody, don't let this guy fool you. Just ask him if he knows who Riley's sister is, Cindy scoffed. The manager of the Salix Leaf Hotel is the most powerful woman in Chicago. Do you really think they know each other? The man pulled out his phone and called Rachel, too. I'll get someone to break your legs right now. Let's see if you can still act cool when that happens. Rachel, someone's bullying me down in the main garage. Send a few of your people to help me deal with him, he shouted into his phone. When she heard this, Melody felt guilty but was also deeply moved. She didn't expect Kevin to help her this much. After all, they just met by chance. At the same time, Melody also knew that if it wasn't for her, Kevin wouldn't be in this humiliating situation. So she decided to do something to keep him from being harmed. Riley, that's enough. I'll do whatever you want, but you have to promise to let this man and his wife leave here safely, she said tearfully. Oh, so you agree now, Riley blurted out mockingly. Well, it's too late. I'm not interested in you anymore. I just want to have this guy's legs broken. Kevin didn't wait for Melody to reply. He reached out and pulled her behind him as he sized up the situation. So you're Riley Collins? Kevin asked ominously. What's it with you? Riley roared angrily. Just look at you in your crappy clothes. What did you think you were going to do with this college student anyway? How about if I teach you a lesson? Just as Riley finished speaking, pulled up next to them, and Rachel hurriedly got out of the car. How did you get here so quickly, Rachel? Riley said excitedly. He pointed at Kevin and shouted, This scumbag has been bullying me. I want you to have him thrown off the property. Melody got very upset when she saw Rachel. She thought she was going to be in serious trouble, and based on how Kevin was dressed, she figured they were both in the same boat. People like them shouldn't provoke someone of Rachel's stature. But to her great surprise, Rachel didn't even look at Riley as she ran up to Kevin and nervously called him boss. Actually, when Rachel got the calls from Lily and Riley, she was showing some condos to a new client. When she realized what was going on, she immediately dropped everything and rushed over. Riley couldn't believe his eyes. Rachel, what are you doing? Why are you being so polite to this hillbilly? Riley asked his sister as he walked over to her. He thought she had mistaken him for someone else. Suddenly, Rachel slapped her brother in the face. Then she scolded him. What the hell's wrong with you? If he's a hillbilly, what do you think that makes you? Melody and Cindy were stunned when they heard her say that. But Riley was even more surprised at what his sister had just said. I'll deal with you later, Rachel said to her brother as she gave him a dirty look. Then she quickly turned around to apologize to Kevin sincerely. I'm sorry, boss. My family has always spoiled him. He had no idea who you were, so I hope you can forgive him. Rachel was incredibly anxious. She'd heard that Kevin had been arrested at the Salix Leaf Hotel for beating someone up, but she hadn't looked into it any further. Then when Dalton Steele was attacked while trying to protect Lily as she ate dinner there, she hadn't told Kevin about that either. So Rachel knew that Kevin had to be pretty angry with her, and she was afraid that he'd turn that anger on her brother. If that happened, it certainly wouldn't end well for Riley. She'd been enjoying hobnobbing with Chicago's upper crust, and it was all because of Kevin's support. And if Kevin had helped her into this high position, he could also take her right back down. Forgive him? You've got to be kidding. Your brother just said that he wanted to find someone to break my leg, Kevin informed her. Rachel couldn't help shaking her head when she heard that. Don't joke with me, boss. My brother wouldn't dare lay a finger on you. You can ask Lily if you don't believe me, Kevin replied candidly. Rachel couldn't believe what she was hearing. She gritted her teeth as she turned around and grabbed Riley's ear. Hurry up and apologize to Kevin. If you don't beg for his forgiveness right now, you'll never be able to step foot into the family home again for the rest of your life. Rachel was absolutely livid because of her younger brother's behavior. She knew that their parents had always spoiled him. He was a troublemaker in school and never did his assignments on time. He always kept getting involved with friends who just wanted to use him for his connections so they could climb the social ladder. Now that she was doing so well, Rachel thought she could help support her family. Since Riley was younger than her and had just finished college, she hoped to find a company where he could work for a couple of years to get some experience. That could help turn things around for him. But here he was actually starting a fight with Kevin over nothing. This could ruin their family. On top of that, she knew what had happened to Nolan Hill when he pissed Kevin off.
"I'm very sorry, sir. It was all my fault. Please forgive me."
Riley apologized to Kevin very sincerely. Riley Collins may have been a playboy, but he wasn't obtuse. He could see how afraid his sister was of Kevin, so he figured it was better to not find himself on his bad side. If his sister called Kevin boss, then he'd better call him sir. Melody and Cindy were in utter amazement as they watched the whole scene play out. They had no idea why Rachel was being so respectful toward Kevin. Both of them had already realized that this ordinary-looking man who looked like he couldn't even afford to pay for parking was the real CEO of the Salix Leaf Hotel. "That's quite a change from what you were saying to me before," Kevin smirked. "Didn't you just say you wanted to have my legs broken?"
"Please accept my apology. I shouldn't have talked to you the way I did, and I know I was wrong to do it,"
Riley begged him. He seemed to be on the verge of tears. Kevin didn't say anything. He just scowled and stared at him as he crossed his arms in front of his chest. Rachel regained her composure and walked over to Kevin. She carefully asked him, "What do you think we should do about this, boss?" Rachel really wanted to ask Kevin if he'd calm down, but that would have been ridiculous. The smile on his face made her very unsure about how he was going to respond. "He's your brother. What do you think we should do with him?" Kevin asked as he glanced at Rachel. Not only did he insult me, but he also insulted this young lady behind me. Rachel didn't understand what Kevin meant. She immediately walked over to Melody and apologized to her. "Hi, I'm Riley's older sister. If he's offended you in any way, I hope you can accept my apologies. Can you forgive him?" Actually, Melody stammered. She really didn't know what to say. In fact, she never thought that someone like Rachel would actually apologize to her. Seeing Melody's reaction, Rachel walked over to her brother and kicked him in the shin. "What are you standing there for? Hurry up and apologize. Do you want me to do everything for you?" Riley didn't argue with her at all. He limped over to Melody and said,
"I'm sorry."
But would this be enough to satisfy Kevin?
Hi, Kevin here. If you're wondering what happens next, then stay tuned on the Pocket FM Universe channel for more episodes.